Hello folks, Phil Gallagher here for another Legacy video. Today an anonymous donor asked me to brew around Heartless Summoning. So here we go. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less to cast, and creatures you control get -1, -1. And I was asked to build around 4 cards. The first is Altar of the Brood. Whenever another permanent enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills a card. And then we're going to play Myr Retrievers for free, which are going to instantly die using Heartless Summoning. Okay? Our goal is to control 2 Myr Retrievers, a Heartless Summoning, and an Altar of the Brood. Each time I cast a Myr Retriever, it will immediately die, and I will return the other Myr Retriever from my graveyard. Each time that I do this, it will mill my opponent by 1 card. Alright? So, this is an infinite combo that results in a kill. 1 Altar of the Brood, 1 Heartless Summoning, 2 Myr Retrievers. And they have also asked that I play Urza's Saga as a way to tutor up the Altar of the Brood. Now, here's the challenge of trying to design a deck around this combo. Heartless Summoning, not a great card on its own. Altar of the Brood, same. Myr Retriever, also same. Urza Saga? Okay, Urza Saga, you get a pass. You're wonderful. You're maybe a little too good. So, how do I build a deck which has other ways to take advantage of Heartless Summoning, and other ways to make it so that Altar of the Brood and or Myr Retriever are also good? We've gone deep into the jank tank, and I present to you Legacy Heartless Summoning. And we've kind of combined a couple of different deck ideas into one for this. Here we go. So let's start with the Heartless Summoning. With the Heartless Summoning, I need to play other creatures that cost a decent amount of mana, or other creatures that instantly die and can allow me to combo off. I looked into a bunch of Heartless Summoning combo cards, and a lot of them cost 5 or more mana, and that's not super where I want to be, because those cards will be unplayable if I don't control a Heartless Summoning. So that got me thinking, are there other ways that I can reduce the cost of giant creatures? And that led me to both Kappa Cannoneer, which has Improvise, and Thought Monitor, which have affinity for artifacts. So our artifacts are going to reduce the cost of these creatures, and our Heartless Summonings are also going to reduce the cost of them, which all in all sounds pretty good to me. And Myr Retriever and Altar of the Brood are both artifacts, right? Which means they contribute towards the count for Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor. And then this kind of left me with about 8 cards left in the deck after I put in a decently sized Urza Saga package and a bunch of artifacts. And I decided I probably want something else that can take advantage of the Heartless Summoning combo while also being an artifact. Enter Painter's Servant. Painter's Servant becomes free if a Heartless Summoning is in play, and it is still an artifact for things like Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor. While the Urza Sagas that are already in the deck can also search up the Grindstone portion of the combo, as well as an LED in the times where mana is the missing piece. So, we have a bunch of different ways that we can make good opening hands. By having Painter and Grindstone, by having Painter and Urza Saga, by having Ancient Tomb and Urza Saga, by having multiple pieces of the Heartless Summoning combo already, by just making a quick Kappa Cannoneer or Thought Monitor. So this is an amalgamation of things that hopefully produces reasonable hands some portion of the time. Every once in a while, we're still going to get a hand that's like 3 lands, Altar of the Brood, Heartless Summoning, Painter's Servant, Thought Monitor, or something like that. And it's like not quite going to come together, but I think this is reasonable. The other thing that I think is reasonable is perhaps playing something like 4 Emery and 4 Thoughtcast in these spots, which would allow you to more commonly like assemble the actual Heartless Summoning combo. But I think at that point, the artifact count starts to get a little low for my liking. So that's a concern. I will say that in order to kind of make sure I have enough black sources for Heartless Summoning, I am playing Vault of Whispers and Underground Sea. And A Collector Oof or Null Rod is going to be really good against this deck, because I'm not going to have many answers to it, and I'm just kind of going to say that I'm going to lose to Collector Oof while playing this meme league. I'm gonna be good with that. As far as the sideboard goes, I primarily wanted to have another way to make constructs. I thought about Urza, but the blue is probably a little harder than just taking the colorless version of that effect. Beyond that, I need to have a couple answers to Collector Oof. I have Brazen Borrowers and Dismembers. I figured graveyard stuff is going to matter a lot since I am going to be milling my opponents. And since we're trying to fit in a whole bunch of goodies here, we don't have Force of Will in the main deck, so the plan for opposing combo is going to be kill them most of the time. I've kind of added in a couple of Thorn of Amethysts into the sideboard, but that's not necessarily going to be enough to beat combo on its own. So the plan for combo is race them. You don't get to beat it all when you're trying to play a meme deck list. But hopefully this is a lot of fun, and hopefully it's pretty good. I've goldfished it a decent amount in the tournament practice room. The hands looked good. So we'll see how it fares. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. Please consider leaving me a like before this video begins. And if you have anything to say, please throw those in the comments. Let's battle. Okay. Do I keep this hand? It does not do the thing that this deck is designed to do. However, it makes very large Urza Saga construct tokens. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. I will make a 5/5 construct token on turn 2, followed by a 6/6 that will become a 7/7 after I tutor. This is probably good enough. Not the Heartless Summoning hand that you all came here to see. So I apologize for that, but I don't think it goes back in before I get wastelanded and just cry myself to sleep. I would deserve it for keeping this hand. Okay, everything has resolved. I will also just win next turn if I top deck a Painter. So that's a thing. Ponder away. We're potentially playing against like a Jeskai control deck, by the way. Ooh. How much does this cost right now? Costs 3. I could make it cost 2 by making a Saga token now and just play it. I don't know that it's worth giving up the Lotus Petals for. I think I'll just wait and then cast this next turn. And I will cast it for significantly less mana. Alright, so let's end step, make a giant token. Go to my turn. Heartless Summoning is cool. I'm not really digging it right now exactly, but it's fine. What do I want? Shadow Spear is okay. I might just take a bobble here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Thought Monitor costs 1 mana. I think I'll just play Underground Sea and play it that way. Just gonna make these hit even harder. Alright, Dress Down's annoying. It's an answer to my Urza Saga. But, like, I will get a refreshed draw here. Which I guess I can just wait on. Actually, maybe I do want to do this now because of Hull Breacher. Now let's go ahead and do that now. Draw a Vista. That's fine. Alright. Lotus Petal is not what I'm looking for. I want another piece of gas here. That Dress Down killing 2 construct tokens and hitting Thought Monitor was pretty brutal. Again, though, at any point, top decking a Painter is a kill. Alright. That's annoying, because I can't actually kill that this turn. I guess I can. Oh, it's a Teferi. Not great for me. I don't really want to play Heartless Summoning and decrease the size of my Thought Monitor at this exact time. I'm also unsure if I should play out these artifacts because of, like, Kappa Cannoneer. But because of things like Echo, I, like, absolutely don't want to hold cards in hand. So I think I'll go ahead and do that. I'll hold the Heartless Summoning, though. I would not necessarily mind losing that. The next question is, like, do I Grindstone myself? Or do I start Grindstoning my opponent? My opponent can have things like Snapcaster Mage that make doing that a bad idea. My opponent will probably be pretty slow at killing me, so, like, that's a thing as well. Alright, they're bouncing my Thought Monitor, which is slightly annoying because of Narset. Alright. Without an Altar of the Brood, I think I'm just going to start grindstoning my opponent manually. Like, yes, this shuffles Graveyard in if my opponent can get one of those. Annoying. I probably play both, as awkward as that is, so I can somewhat reasonably try to attack and kill these Planeswalkers. My opponent has 7 cards, though. Like, life in that regard is tough. I did not think we were playing a real game of Magic this game after I got to make those constructs. But here we are. I think I try to make my opponent a mana to protect these things. Let's send one of these at Teferi, one of these at Narset, and see what they do. Instant Speed Supreme Verdict. Okay. Do I play Heartless Summoning as a bait spell? Yes, I think so. Let's play it. One of my general legacy rules is if I don't know why an opponent is casting something, like if I don't know why it's in their deck, I tend to counter it. All right, let's attempt to win. Okay, opponent did not counter the Heartless Summoning. That's okay. What do they pitch? Ponder, sure. All right, I would love to get this Narset out of play to turn on my other 2 Thought Monitors. No Grindstone activation this turn. It's not worth giving up baubles for. That's insane. Okay, Heartless Summoning, you are now doing your thing. I will cast a Myr Retriever. Okay, so that instantly dies, which allows me to return a Painter's Servant to hand, which I get to cast for free. Everything is black. What is the timing restriction on this? Until your next turn. So because of instant speed Days Undoing, I should wait until my opponent's upkeep to do this. Okay, so they are trying to get me to do this. I basically have to. Grindstone target you. I assume this is going to be some sort of Swords to Plowshares effect. A second Prismatic Ending. Okay. That occurs. Yeah, so I was right to play around the Teferi timing. Not for the reason that I thought, but for a different reason. And now we have Jace. Fate Seal's rough here. Some of my top decks are very good. Yeah. And I'm just getting stuck with whatever this card is. Not great for me. For Kappa Cannoneer based reasons, I think I'll hold that. And I guess also for Altar of the Brood based reasons, but it's pretty unlikely that I can mill my opponent out through 2-ish copies of Days Undoing. All right, what are they bouncing? All right, they're bouncing my Heartless Summoning. That's fine. Oh, they're brainstorming this turn. Okay. They may have realized that I have Grindstone up this time around. My Grindstone! My boy! Actually, do I mill myself trying to put a Painter in my graveyard here? I probably do. Let's do that. I found an Altar. See what we draw. Thought Monitor. Not particularly good with Narset in play. I'm fine with casting it still, though. It still just attacks Planeswalkers. Like, that's fine. But now I kind of don't have real win conditions in play. Like, I'm not sitting on an instant top deck win. Now, Kappa Cannoneer, it will be pretty hot. And if I can take this Narset off board, I have a lot of other potentially good draws. That's still a real good draw. All right. Fairy? I think since I drew Urza Saga, I attacked a Fairy. Narset's real scary, though. I mean, they both are. Narset is just, like, more replaceable because there's Hull Breachers in the deck, too. Giant Shark. Giant Shark. Not as giant as I expected. Still giant, though. Alright, I'll play an Urza Saga and call it a turn. And then I will get beaten to death by Planeswalker abilities. And there's a fetch land to clear the Brainstorm. You have more to do? Okay, that's fine. Trying to beat the control deck from this deficit is kind of tough. We'll see. I'm not like 100% dead yet. Like I'm still like squirming and struggling. I don't think I play these. I think I hold these for Altar of the Brood. The opponent is not literally killing me quickly, right? Like, they're very far ahead. They have all the tools in the world to beat me. But it's not like I'm dead in 2 turns. I will have a lot of draws to try and wiggle out. Alright. I'm drawing whatever that is. Let's go ahead and make an Urza Saga token, which immediately dies. Another Heartless Summoning is not what I'm looking for here. Ah, shit, they're gonna go Snapcaster Days Undoing. Yeah. So there it is. So this is pretty good here. So I essentially just lost 4 cards. I guess it's worth making the token to force my opponent to bounce. But it's not super feel good. So I can get Shadow Spear to try to trample over, but this is going to just get bounced. So I think I just get a new Grindstone and hope that I can top deck a Painter and resolve it and nothing else goes wrong for a win. It is really a lot to ask for. It's also just like a sign of my opponent's confidence that they are just brainstorming there rather than continuing to Fate Seal me. Teferi minus bounce this token. At least I think they will. They could have other... Yeah, there we go. They have 9 cards in hand. Disgusting. Now, I think that Days Undoing was just enough gas that I can't really come back. Yep. Game's over, but I'm not ready to call it quits. Because, like, technically I could, like, have 4 live cards on top of my library in a row and win, but, wow. No, Fate Seal. You have so many cards, like, what are you fucking looking for? That's what I want to know. Like, you're just discarding cards at this point. I don't know, maybe it's irrelevant, then they just have, like, multiple counter spells in hand. Alright, with that draw, I no longer have any, true outs, I think. Okay, in this matchup, I would like Karns. I would like Pithing Needles. It is possible that I should play Leyline of the Void, because a couple copies of Altar of the Brood plus Leyline will just beat my opponent. Like, that's a real thing. But that might be getting too cute. Probably don't need the LED here. Game is going to go long enough that I can probably trim 1 or 2 copies of Heartless Summoning. Like, I want it for the whole, like, Myr Retriever combo thing, but Heartless Summoning is just, like, not going to sit in play and give me a ton of value when my opponent has, like, Prismatic Endings and Teferis and stuff that just can bounce these out of play. So I might, like, go down a Heartless Summoning or 2, go down a Mox Opal, and go down 1 Altar. I don't know, like... No, that's probably fine. It's also a little sketchy to try to hold hold Heartless Summoning in hand for a long time against the Days Undoing combo deck. How is this? Turn 1 Turn 1 this Shadow Spear. Turn 2 Underground Sea Heartless Summoning. Turn 3 Thought Monitor and Urza Saga. Borderline, I'll keep it. Alright. Beat. Shadow Spear, go. It's a little awkward if my Heartless Summoning eats a Prismatic Ending. I'll be pretty slow. Yeah, we could end up in combo territory. So I control 1/2 artifacts, meaning that costs 2 less for this, so this costs 4 less. Ah, shit. This costs just, like, way too much mana right now. Probably just, like, play a Myr Retriever to increase my artifact count. Which is not the way I want this card to be used, but I think it's where I'm at. Gotten slowed down a lot. I have a lot of Urza Saga based value, so here's to hoping my opponent doesn't have their dress down. Okay, there's a Petal. I'll play that. 1, 2, 3. Urza Saga could be 4. I'm trying to think if I want to play this Urza Saga this turn. I don't think I do. I also don't think I want to attack with Myr Retriever into Hull Breacher. My opponent has Hull Breacher into Days Undoing. It's really awkward for me to not take advantage of the cards that I have right now. Then again, if my opponent has a counterspell, it's super awkward to cast Karn and not do Urza Saga. I think I'm going to play the land drop in case my opponent has, like, exactly the thing that I am afraid of. Call it a turn here. Okay. No end of turn Hull Breacher into immediate Days Undoing, which is good for me. So let's end of turn Construct token, untap, pick these up. 1, 2. Do my searching. Possible this is just Mox Opal here. Kind of make the rest of this turn work out well. Let's attempt to hit in for 7 and see how that works out. It doesn't. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can make a Kappa Cannoneer, or I can go for a Thought Monitor. I think I like this better than an Urza Saga Construct token. I think it's just a major pain in the ass. Although, I could go this route. This is just 1 mana. That gives up Urza Saga value, though. Maybe I just mine my Urza Saga value here and be happy enough with that. Like, the Kappa Cannoneer will still be good later. Okay, sure. I don't like how, like, scared I have to play. I wish I could just jam. Oh, wow, on the Myr Retriever, opponent is scared of that combo. Cool. I accept. Does make me a little worried about Dress Down, though. I don't think it changes my line, but I'm just saying it makes me a little worried that that's about to happen. I don't think I am going to make another Urza Saga Construct token here. I think it's just so likely that my opponent has Dress Down. I think I'm just going to float a mana instead. So let's do that. Unsure what to get. I think I'm just going to grab a Grindstone to make Painter Top decks lethal. Actually, shutting off Prismatic Vista is totally reasonable here. Now let's work towards kills. All right, there's a Grindstone. Let's go 4 mana. Attempt to play a Karn. I'm not going to make this token pre-combat. Attempt to crash in for 6. Opponent just takes that. I think I will just plus Karn rather than give my opponent even more value. All right, plus Karn. Looking at a Myr Retriever and a Heartless Summoning. Oh, I'm wrong. Looking at an Ancient Tomb and Mishra's Bauble. Excuse me. I popped out Exile, not the revealed card zone. All right. I'll play a Bauble. I think I'll just let that chill and play for now. My artifact count is a little low if I do lose these constructs to like a Supreme Verdict. Hey, speaking of, 1, 2, 3, 4. Arm will be 5. This will cost 2. That's fine. There's an Altar of the Brood. Minus that for a construct token. Play a Kappa. There's blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kappa resolves. Actually, how many artifacts do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a fine time to just play a Thought Monitor then. Hull Breacher is not up. All right, doing gross stuff. Yeah? I think I hold that in hand. I think I hold that in hand for next turn. I don't want it to get caught up in a Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict's already very good. But I'm fine playing another, or I guess a first Altar of the Brood. All right, opponent, you're facing down a lot of bullshit. And some bonus bullshit that you don't know about yet. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a reasonable concession point. That was some impressive lag. Might do a Moto reboot after this game. In case that was on my end. Yeah, deck felt very good there. Those Karns are nice pressure. An opponent is like absolutely respecting the Heartless Summoning combo, which means they're like air quotes wasting things on Heartless Summoning and Myr Retriever, which is like very good for me. I think I'm gonna kind of continue as is. This is the entire combo. This is a turn 2 Goldfish. It's a turn 1 Goldfish if I draw another Lotus Petal. No. Alright. Bobble. I think I'm supposed to just play out the entire combo next turn when Prismatic Ending can't interrupt any of it. I just play Seat this turn. I will sacrifice Bobble. I feel so smart. Alright. Game has been a heck of a... This match, rather, has been a heck of a grind. See what I can do. God damn it. Son of a bitch. All right. That's pretty rude. I actually can still entirely combo off through that. Just not now. Do I play out the Altar of the Brood? I think since I have multiple Urza Saga, I just play out the Altar of the Brood and have a kill next turn if they don't Prismatic Ending it, and if they do Prismatic Ending it, I just, like, wait. I think that's better than just, like, waiting 2 turns to make a single play. Yeah, Teferi's fine. I don't even know if this gets bounced. It does. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So I'll play Altar of the Brood, which is probably much less threatening than the Grindstone that I'm about to play. Alright. So there. Mill him. Let's always yield to that. Got the Shark Typhoon. Play out a Grindstone. Alright. Actually, maybe Altar of the Brood is more threatening because Grindstone is currently off due to Stony Silence. I probably misspoke there. Oh, but they might hold Prismatic Ending to answer the Urza Saga construct tokens. We'll see. Oh, that's a Narset. Okay. Ponder's in hand. Okay. Arn. So my opponent can go instant speed, Prismatic Ending, Altar of the Brood. I need to wait. I need to play the Urza Saga game for a little while. Unfortunately. Alright. And this ticks up. And I'm so fucking close to doing this combo. I want it so bad. I want it so very bad. Alright. Yeah, it looks like the Narset is chilling at its current loyalty amount. And I will go ahead and kill my opponent for more. Alright. Okay. Opponent is doing draw step bullshit. Which is awful for me. Yeah, like, I had to wait a turn to play around stuff, and I'm getting punished because of it. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. Just one of those things. Okay. At this point, I have to just go and make these constructs. Oh, good, we got the Jace. And most of this stuff has no text. That Pithing Needle does. Pithing Needle and Altar of the Brood both do. I think I'll take a Pithing Needle here. I'm going to name Teferi Time Raveler. And we'll see if this does anything. Oh, God. Source the Plowshares as well. Fuck. Yeah, so now my opponent can Prismatic Ending the Pithing Needle and then use Teferi to bounce this other construct, assuming they have nothing else. Alright, sure. No shuffle there. Oh, okay, they're doing something else. Hulk. Oh, just refreshing the Narset, sure. See if they find another white removal spell. Another Teferi. Alright. I'll float my mana. Guess I make a new altar at this point. And, we'll try to casually win via mill. Can happen, right? Alright. Mill 2. Get him. In all seriousness, in the worlds where my opponent doesn't draw the other Day's Undoing, I like, could realistically just mill them out with multiple copies of Altar of the Brood. I'm going to get a third one off Urza's Saga. So I'm hoping my opponent doesn't get Day's Undoing, and I'm hoping they don't find the Shark Typhoon to get, like, their only card that is probably a reasonable clock, unless they have, like, a Mentor or something that I haven't seen yet. Fuck! I can't get a fucking break this game. Alright, yeah. I've come this far. I'll play it out, but I think I'll concede within a turn cycle, assuming they cast any number of meaningful spells. They, like, have a Teferi already as well that I know they can unlock via Prismatic Ending. So they can, like, Teferi bounce something and then play a new Teferi. Get a 3/3 Shark out of that. At 32, back to basics. Alright, okay. I'll call it there. That's enough. I will say, for the janky brew that I am playing, that was a great match. Like, my opponent had to have very specific things so that I could not combo off, and they did. Otherwise, like, we took that one a good portion of the time. Okay, round 2 opening hand is weird. I have this Heartless Summoning, which is kind of a dead card. Otherwise, I have a very powerful Urza's Saga hand. I think I keep this. It will not be great versus Wasteland. Otherwise, the hand is pretty reasonable. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to crack Alter immediately. Or, not, sorry, not Alter, Bobble immediately. I think I'm going to go with no, since it will be throwing a construct. Well, let's see what my opponent's playing. Island? Veil of Summer? That's degenerate combo nonsense. In which case, I probably want to keep the Bobble in play to try to Goldfish as quickly as possible. We might be playing against, like, Ant. Okay. You may take my Heartless Summoning. That's not what this game is about right now. This game is about whether or not I get 2 attack steps before you kill me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do I play Kappa Cannoneer? Probably play Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, Kappa Cannoneer swings for more than a construct. Next turn. Yeah. 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 There's Kappa Cannoneer. Already a 5/5. It will be at least 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. At least 8, 8 as of next turn. And I'm going to get Shadow Spear and equip that, so I will gain that much life. I think if I gain that much life, I will be out of immediate Storm death range. Yeah, okay, that's good. All right, so make construct, grow Kappa, mill opponent, search Shadow Spear, grow Kappa, mill opponent, play seat, grow Kappa, mill opponent, there's a Burning Wish, equip Shadow Spear to Kappa, play Mox Opal, grow Kappa, keep this Mox Opal, mill opponent, bash in for 10, gain 10 life going to 26, and have lethal next turn in a way that is very difficult to interact with. Okay. Opponent is going to attempt to go with an ad nauseum from 8. That's kind of a big ask. They've got good mana here. Like, that's a lot of mana, but they have no piece of gas yet. They have no way to go Hellbent yet. So much mana. Like, you gotta win this turn. I am going to... No, I don't have to crack this yet. In case things get weird somehow. I don't expect them to get weird. And this is what I meant by my plan being racing combo. Okay. Is that Trop? There's an LED. LED is very good. It means that Infernal Tutors are live to do stuff. Okay, Dark Ritual, which I assume we will see again immediately, followed by that other Cabal Ritual. Yep. Reign of Filth can represent a couple more mana as well. Reign of Filth makes a lot of skulls. Okay. Cast in Flames. I believe that means I am now deterministically dead. I'm going to crack my Bobble and F6. So my opponent just casts a bunch of rituals followed by Burning Wish Tendrils, and their storm count is high enough that I think that's valid. Okay, there's Cabal Ritual again. Followed by Imagine the other Cabal Ritual, and then 2 Dark Rituals. They've very easily got it here. Just Burning Wish is the kill. There's nothing I can do about it. Yeah, there is the Tendrils, and, like, storm count is already 16, so that is very much lethal, even through the additional life that I gained. GG. I probably want Leylines. I probably want Thorns. If my opponent has Wishclaw, Talisman, Pithing Needle is valid. Promise Crypt is okay. I probably have to cut my Heartless Summoning combo for this matchup. Like, it's just probably too slow. Altar of the Brood then would be a relatively weak card as well if I do that. So I can play the Pithing Needle and fill that slot. How does this set me up? Not bad. Do I want to play Karn over Altar of the Brood, or do I just want Altar of the Brood as a 1 mana artifact that I can just play? It helps turn on Mox Opals. Helps make these things easier to cast. Like, that's definitely relevant. That might be better than Karn, oddly. Because I'm all about speed here. Urza Saga. Urza Saga, Alter, Mox, Opal. This is an okay Urza Saga hand that can't really deploy most of the cards in my hand well. I think a Painter hand is better than this one. Yeah, this is fine. I'll keep this. Do I pitch Underground Sea here? I'd probably pitch Underground Sea here. Like, bin that. So I can go Sea, Opal, Petal, Grindstone, 2 mana, Thorn. And then hope to draw some reasonable way to win from there. Alright. Graveyard's off. And let's vomit some artifacts into play. There's Mox Opal on. Very hateful hand. It doesn't just win the game on its own. But Graveyard's off. Spells are taxed. I have 2 functional mana. Let's see where it goes. Mox Opal is absolutely not what I am looking for. We'll see what opponent can do. They can start cantripping this turn to set up, or play a discard spell, take my Opal. Okay. Thoughtseize is great. That turned Mox Opal into shock. Painter's Servant is a solid draw. That means any mana source kills my opponent. Everything can be white, I guess. I don't want to pick black or blue because of Veil of Summer, which I'm guessing was boarded out, but you never know. Alright, let's see what opponent does here. Burning Wish can get pulverized if they're playing it, but that won't be castable this turn. A Wither Bloom command. Did not get the mana source that I needed. For a target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Okay. I'll pay my 1 for my Bauble. I will crack that on my opponent's turn. And if they can't win this turn, they might have to Witherbloom command the Grindstone in order to keep the game going. I should probably pull this card up for those of you that aren't super familiar with it. So the mode that's most relevant here is destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. Otherwise, it's probably just going to serve as a drain as well. And that is indeed what it is doing. Alright, goodbye, Grindstone. I will take this draw here. It's going to naturally draw their tendrils. It's probably actively good for me in a lot of cases. How much do you cost right now? You cost 4 right now. Sure. Will be more castable next turn. Everything is double white. Crash in for 1. Clock's a little anemic right now, but my opponent just had to use the thing they tutored to get rid of Thorn of Amethyst to not die, so I've got that going for me. 2 mana Ponder is a-okay. And opponent is continuing to make land drops, which is good because they're going to need a lot of land drops to try to make something work through Thorn. Normally, you can power through a Thorn effect with Cabal Ritual in some cases, but probably not with a Leyline in play as well. Preordain is totally fine. 1 top, 1 bottom with that. That'll be gross if I get another mana. I'm just going to confirm that also costs 3. Unfortunate. Life's pretty tough for my opponent if I get another land drop and just can play a second Thorn. Brainstorm's fine. Basically, if my opponent leads on a cantrip, it becomes very difficult for them to win that same turn as of right now. Not impossible, just very difficult. Okay, Bayou's fine. I get a few more pecks in. Ad Nauseam starts to become a little more sketchy as well. Infernal Tutor. So this is going to reveal a copy of something that is already in their hand. It is a Lion's Eye Diamond. Mana source. Well, not exactly what I am looking for. It's fine, because it means, like, a mana source kills my opponent. But, like, I was waiting on a mana source for all 3 of the cards that are currently in my hand. Okay. Thoughtseize is good for me. It means my opponent isn't impacting my board. Does mean that I can't just, like, throw another Thorn in play and have that be just a huge thing that destroys my opponent. Oh. They attempt to go off through Thorn this turn? Or are they just playing that out for the future? Playing it out for the future. The opponent has been dead, or air quotes dead, to a land drop for a couple of turns now, but like we're not getting there. This time, this does cost 2, since I did play a Grindstone last turn. I do have a kill this turn if I draw a land and LED specifically. Let's try to do that. Nope. This does mean I have a kill next turn, though. So that's nice. Bash in for 2. Opponent has 2 cards. They don't have a core density of things that actually, like, probably can give them the force to storm off. Adnaz from 7 isn't great. Alright, there's a Rain of Filth, so they can attempt. So my opponent has, like, made 5 mana off Rain of Filth. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Cast in Flames is off. Additional mana from Cabal Rituals are off. Burning Wish can potentially get something like a Pulverize. Oh, Eve, maybe? No, that doesn't stop them from dying to Grindstone. Their Tendrils is now gone. Peer into the Abyss. They have green mana. Okay, right. The Peer into the Abyss mana. Sure. That's totally reasonable. I am not sure on the Peer into the Abyss math with Thorn into Amethyst, with Thorn of Amethyst in play and Leyline in play. So they have 4 mana remaining. They go to 3 life. Not sure exactly how this goes. Since they discarded their Tendrils, meaning it's now in exile, they are going to need red mana to kill me. Like, they're going to need to cast another Burning Wish. They're also going to have to generate enough mana to make that possible, and enough Storm. I'm going to double check myself here. I believe Rain of Filth means that they can't sack that Volcanic Island. Until end of turn, lands you control gain. Yeah, so they didn't control this at the time, so they can't sacrifice that one. Alright, Dark Rituals are +1 mana instead of +2. That's fine. And then Cabal Rituals cost 2, but produce 3. So those actually just break even and add 2 Storm count. 6, 7 total mana. Oh gosh, they have to ponder. That is not good. So they need like multiple Dark Rituals, right? Or like an LED. That was a shuffle with that ponder. There's blue. I don't think they can win anymore. Right? Because like now they don't have access to red mana without going down on mana. I think that does it. So they are dead both to the combat step and to Grindstone activations. Yeah, and there is the concession. So we have to do it again now. After seeing most of my opponent's deck, I did not actually see Wishclaw Talisman. So that probably means I don't need the Pithing Needle. I might still play it as a 1-mana artifact. It just helps me turn on Mox Opal to play these cards faster. Like that, or play a Karn. I also think it's okay to just like name Pithing Needle on Wishclaw Talisman anyway. There still might be one in there that I just haven't seen in 2 games. Yeah, let's not change anything. Alright, how is this hand? It has a Leyline, which is cool. It doesn't really do anything that actually kills my opponent. It still needs more mana if I top deck a Painter. I think I'll pitch this one. This kills on turn 3. I'll keep this, and I'll probably just pitch the Altar of the Brood here. Yep, and this is where I hope that my opponent has like kept a hand that requires some setup. See what they've got. I don't care about Thoughtseize. I just kill on turn 3 through Thoughtseize. All right, I need to play the Urza Saga on turn 1. We'll go ahead and do so. Play a Pithing Needle. And I assume my opponent will crack their fetch land in response. They will. Alright, they've gotten a Trop. I think it's Polluted Delta. Seen a couple of those this match already. And this costs way too much mana. Call it a turn there. Alright, there's an end of turn Brainstorm. And we'll see how quickly opponent can Goldfish us. They can win this turn or next turn and beat my speed. Alright. Getting at least another turn so I can cast the Painter. Alright. Play a Bauble. I play an Ancient Tomb. Currently costs 4, so even if I play Painter, I'm still a little away. I'm thinking about whether or not I want to sacrifice Lotus Petal to just do Painter, so that I stay at 2 points higher life total. I think I do. Let's do it. Everything white. Actually, do I want to play a second Painter's Servant so that my opponent destroying one of them does not take me off of winning next turn? I think I do. That seems worth the 2 life to me. So it's a like cheers to pulverize situation. Don't know that I should be playing around that card though. Alright, they've got a Badlands. To decay on Needle on Delta. Alright, apparently it was a good play. May mean okay. Opponent just going for it this turn then. Seems like yes. Like I have the win on board, so they just like have to attempt. 3, 4, 5, 8 total mana. Low-ish storm count. Decay on the Needle seems kind of weird to me. Like, no, that's not true. Because like, if I play the Grindstone, there's no opportunity where they can decay and get me from there. So this will be crack LED in response. Yeah. Okay, for blue, this is presumably just ad nause from 18, which should be pretty safe. Or does Past in Flames kill somehow? No, I don't think so. Oh, okay, my opponent has just conceded. That is confusing to me. Did they board out ad nause, or did they just like fuck up and click on the wrong card? Or did they? All right, I'm not going to spend the brain power thinking about it. We're 1-1. Okay, I've got 3 Mox Opals in this opening hand, which effectively means that this is a mulligan to 5. So we will just mulligan to 6. How about that instead? This hand will produce a infinite combo kill if I draw another Myr Retriever, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this. The Lion's Eye Diamond is a card that I basically never want to draw. Alright. Beat, alter, go. We'll play a turn 2 Heartless Summoning and go for a turn 3 Kappa Cannoneer. We don't care if the Kappa Cannoneer is 1 smaller because it will absolutely grow itself quickly. Alright, playing against a Flooded Strand deck. Here we go. Milieu, which may or may not actually be a good thing. And we'll see what my opponent thinks of this Heartless Summoning. Alright, it has resolved. We've junked a Prismatic Ending, which is a win. So next turn I can just cast Kappa Cannoneer just by going land drop, pay 4 mana. It costs 2 less. But this will be kind of the first thing that I've had the opportunity to Force of Will. So like there's that. Let's see. So if I play an Altar of the Brood, I can still just cast Kappa Cannoneer afterwards. So let's do that because I get more mill this way. Altar of the Brood is threatening enough to prompt a Brainstorm. Although honestly, it's kind of weird because like Altar of the Brood can fuck with the things that they put back via Brainstorm or clear their library for them. So there's that. Okay, it's prompting a fetch into a Spell Pierce. Okay, that Spell Pierce does mean that I am not playing Kappa Cannoneer this turn, unfortunately. That is what it is. We might be playing against like a Stoneblade deck. Oh shit, I can play Myr Retriever, return Altar of the Brood. Is that good? That might be good. It's probably better to be able to Myr Retriever Kappa Cannoneer next turn, though. I'll chill. See what my opponent has in store for me. Alright, they've grabbed a Valk into Mentor. Kappa Cannoneer does not give a shit about your Mentor. 4 mana Kappa Cannoneer. Please don't have Force of Will. Nice! Always yield to Altar of the Brood. Always yield to Kappa Cannoneer. Now, this is going to be a huge Kappa Cannoneer. And I can probably get cute with playing a bunch of cards next turn. Like, I can play Painter's Servant and Myr Retriever for free next turn. I'm not playing the Painter's Servant as I don't want to show that yet, and I don't think I have to be playing around red removal. Mystic Sanctuary is online. Is that just returning a Ponder? It's just returning a Ponder. Do 3 mana to Fairy. Ward is spell or ability, right? I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's check. Spell or ability. Okay, they've bounced my Heartless Summoning out of play. That's fine. I'll just recast it. All right. Milieu. Throw the Kappa. Shouldn't have played that land yet, actually. It's fine, but I shouldn't have done it. All right. Heartless Summoning. Trigger Altar of the Brood. Cast a Painter Servant. Thing is white. Everything is green, actually. Everything is green. Trigger these again. Continue to mill opponent. Play Myr Retriever. Will instantly die. Put some triggers on the stack. Return Altar of the Brood. And then I missed one mill trigger because I played my land drop prior to doing this other stuff. All right. How big's Kappa? Kappa's an 8/8 at the end of the day here. And I think I just hit my opponent. They have a mentor in play. That's scary enough. I think I just tried to kill them next turn. I succeed at that a good portion of the time. Also, a couple of altars, like, could get there sometimes. We'll see. My opponent can make a pretty respectable board as well. I guess there's worlds where I can die this turn if my opponent just cantrips a billion times, but they would also have to involve taking the Painter's Servant out of the way, which they have accomplished. And I notably do not gain 1 life for that because Painter's Servant's power has decreased. I might be a single point of life short of killing my opponent. Might die next turn. Need to play 2 artifacts to put this to a 10. I can do that by drawing a Myr Retriever. I can do that by drawing a Thoughtcast effect. I've got options. Fuck. That puts my opponent to 1. My Heartless Summoning has betrayed me. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even if I block the Mentor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, even if I block the Mentor and my opponent has nothing, I end up a single point short here. Damn it! Thank you. Single point short. That is tragic. Don't show me more cards. Absolutely don't show me more cards. Now I know Expressive Iteration is in your deck, which I didn't before. And you showed me Counterspell as well. Yeah, you could have turned all your cards sideways and just killed me without giving me that information. That's fine. I'm going to assume Karn's good. I'm going to assume that Pithing Needle's good. I'm going to assume that Dismember for the multiple Mentors that I saw are good. I treat this kind of like before. I trim Heartless Summoning. I trim a Mox Opal. I trim the LED, and then I actually have to think from there. Shadowspear's Trample and Life Gain is relevant versus Mentor tokens. Probably trim an Altar. I don't know that I trim a Grindstone. I don't want to trim too much of my early game, and I've already trimmed 3 inexpensive artifacts. I could trim a Myr Retriever. Just treat Myr Retriever as a way to return a Kappa Cannoneer rather than as something that is likely to combo off since I'm trimming Heartless Summoning anyway. I also could just, like, get rid of all of the Heartless Summonings, but then, like, Myr Retriever becomes quite bad. Also, I'm trying to showcase the card that I built the deck around, so, you know, there's that. It may just be correct to, like, board out Heartless Summoning and 3 Myr Retrievers for 2 Brazen Borrowers, 1 Altar, 2 Thorns. Thorns weird if I'm trying to use Karn as a primary way to win the game, though. Alright. How fast is this Kappa Cannoneer? Turn 1, Seat, Grindstone, Opal, Pithing Needle, Flooded Strand in the dark. Turn 2, Kappa Cannoneer. Okay. Seat, Grindstone, Opal, Pithing Needle. I will still name Flooded Strand. There is a temptation to name Teferi here. But I think I get a free game some portion of the time by doing this. And I'm very down with that idea. See what my opponent does. Probably Ponder. Probably Ponder. Downside here is that if opponent does have a Counterspell that they did not use on Pithing Needle, but they can use on Kappa Cannoneer, then I don't have follow-up gas. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana this turn. Kind of 7 with Painter's Servant if I play it first. Alright, let's just play Kappa Cannoneer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just attempt this. Try to, like, force the Force of Will with this, and then try to actually win via Painter Servant next turn if I draw a mana source. But I prefer not to, like, pass the turn and, like, give my opponent a turn cycle to Sorcery Speed Prismatic. Fuck me. Stop it with that card. Alright, so if I draw a Heartless Summoning, I can Myr Retriever the Cannoneer. Don't like running into Stony Silence playing my meme deck multiple rounds in a row. Okay. I guess it's alternating rounds. Didn't board in Brazen Borrower. Painter Servant, everything's white. This isn't a land anymore. I think that's just gonna beat me. Assuming my opponent has reasonable follow-up. Now I need like an Urza's Saga to make constructs. Hard to make the blue mana for Kappa Cannoneer from here, since I had like Seat and Opal as my blue sources this game. Alright, looks like that's all they're doing. Nice bobble. I'm going to introduce you all to a game called Beatdown with 1-power creatures. Pretty familiar with it myself. And we'll see how this goes. I'll just hold the bobble for now. Bobble represents an increased point of power for if I do get a Kappa Cannoneer into play. How bad is this? Bad. Bad is the answer. Yeah, alright. I have to poke Jace. And this game doesn't go well for me. Because eventually they just like Terminus, Supreme Verdict, or whatever, clear the board, and like Jace Fate Seal to keep these things in check forever and make it so that I can't actually kill with them. Okay. Now I can't ever cast a Kappa Cannoneer. So that's awful. I think this is the point where, for viewer entertainment value, I just go ahead and concede. Because, like, this isn't a land. This produces red mana. All these cards are basically dead. I'm fine with conceding here. We did not beat this deck to beat Stony Silence. Alright, I've gotten paired against a Yorion deck, which in theory is Death and Taxes, but it hasn't been Death and Taxes in a while. I keep running into, like, Cephalid Breakfast or, like, Yorion Allurin. I don't know that this hand is great. I can play turn 1, Seat, Grindstone, Lotus Petal, LED. Turn 2, Kappa. Hello, Philip. This is Bosch and Roll doing a coaching session with 9 dudes on a Zoom call. Excellent. This is me playing nonsense. Enjoy. So this is more likely to be a blue deck now than it is Death and Taxes, right? So it's Bosch and Roll. I'm gonna keep this hand. It still, like, makes fast Kappa into Urza Saga nonsense some portion of the time. Yeah, my opponent just waited till the second main phase to play their land. Okay. Beat. Grindstone. We'll call that a turn here. I don't need to play out all this artifact mana into a prismatic ending. Alright. Let's see what my opponent has to do here. Note that my opponent is likely to play a little more slowly here. They are on a Zoom call, right? Like, they are doing a coaching session. So my opponent is going to use a lot more clock than I am this game. Alright. Opponent has Cauldron Complete. Well, I've got some other stuff going on. Could I use Heartless Summoning as a bait spell here? Like, go Petal, Opal, Heartless Summoning, and still play Kappa? I think I can. So assuming I use these for Heartless Summoning, if I use Urza Saga and this, then I would still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not quite. Yeah, not quite. Okay. So there's Saga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is Kappa Cannoneer, which has resolved. I'm just going to hold this LED to give Kappa Cannoneer unblockable next turn. So now it seems like we are in a good old-fashioned race situation where my opponent has to find a way to kill me before Kappa Cannoneer kills them, and Ward 4 makes that tough, as does my Urza Saga. As does the ability that I can just, like, top deck a Painter and kill them that way. Alright, no shuffle with the Ponder. So they can work towards getting to 5 mana and Swords to Plowsharing my Kappa Cannoneer as a potential out, but they have to do that while dealing with my Urza Saga bullshit. So that's a little tough. I'll eat that damage. They could also, like, play a Batterskull or something that allows them to gain life. That is a thing that can happen as well. So let's go land drop. Go LED here. And now I have to think about whether or not I want to make the construct now to hit my opponent for 7 versus 6. I think I do want to hit for the extra damage. Let's do that. This means that the construct token becomes a little bit easier to answer. But Kappa Cannoneer kills a huge portion of the time next turn, just without factoring in the construct. All right, yeah, so opponent is very desperately working to hit those land drops. All right, Island entering the exiled zone there. And Aldra may need to stay back this turn depending on what opponent's hand looks like. All right, there is a Grindstone. So I will go ahead and activate my Urza Saga. That turns this into an 8/8. We'll go ahead and pick up a Shadow Spear. Turns this into a 9/9. I will play a Grindstone, which has to be Force of Willed, or equivalent. I guess it can't be Force of Willed, right? So that is a 10/10. Shadow Spear. Actually, I think I want to discard Heartless Summoning to fuck with Bosch and roll. And keep my constructs larger. Yeah, let's fuck with Brian. Equip that, giving it lifelink and trample, and giving me the 11th point of damage that I need. Okay, there is the concession. Note, Swords to Plowshares, one of their own creatures, could have kept them alive for a turn, but then there would have been more problems. I'm not going to comment about the Heartless Summoning. Good luck explaining that shit, Brian. Alright, so this is potentially a deck that can, like, Stony Silence me, or Meltdown me. I need these. I probably need to be able to Brazen Borrower a Cauldron Germ token, and Pithing Needle on Stoneforge Mystic, or a Planeswalker is totally reasonable. And I hate to say it, but it feels like I'm supposed to board this portion of the deck out in this matchup. Do I leave a couple? Do I leave a couple as weird mana acceleration? Probably not. And then it becomes the question of, like, do I board out some number of, like, Altar of the Broods or Lion's Eye Diamonds to play Thorns? Unsure. I don't like how dead Altar of the Brood is, but I also don't really like Thorn on the draw. So I think I'm just going to submit this. And I expect them to use all 2 minutes of this time trying to figure out what to do versus me. Okay, I just don't have enough mana to be functional with this hand. I'm going to mulligan. How's this hand? Hand's a little mana light. Probably okay. I can probably keep this and pitch a Grindstone. I'm not going to be great versus a fast Stoneforge Mystic. But, like, opponents be like playing a Yorion deck, so I shouldn't necessarily expect them to have the same opening hand every time. I think I'm just going to lead on Grindstone here and save both of these cards for later. Possible I'm supposed to bobble to try to draw a different land other than Urza Saga. But I think I can forgo that decision for a turn. Alright. So if I play Urza Saga, I have 2 mana. Can be really like 3, 4, 5 towards Thought Monitor. So I'm not quite Thought Monitoring this turn. If I am not quite Thought Monitoring, I think I want to optimize the number of Altar of the Brood triggers that I get. So let's do that. All right. I believe I want to play and crack this on my opponent's turn. I think I hold Lotus Petal for Meltdown, though. Not cracking Bobble immediately becomes a little awkward if my opponent plays like a Narset. But a lot of my hands are already awkward if they play a Narset, so there's that. Okay, that's a Tundra. Fairy's fine. Okay, they are going to bounce my Urza Saga. That's fine. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 7 towards Thought Monitor. If I draw another 0 drop, I can just cast Thought Monitor. I'm fine with holding this in play then. Hey! Lotus Petal. Lotus Petal. You currently cost 1. Play that prior to the Urza's Saga then. Yeah, I think I'll just take my draw 2 now and save the Karn for later. Alright, it has resolved. Working on milling out my opponent's Yorion deck. Oh, Karn? Okay. Let's do that now. Absolutely right now. Here is a Karn. There is a Force of Will. Pitching Expressive Iteration. I think at this point I'm fine with junking this card. Prismatic Ending coming. I have Urza Saga as a follow-up threat, and I have something that can theoretically attempt to kill a Teferi. Hullbreacher? Hullbreacher's fine. Like, that means I get to attack and kill Teferi in instances where my opponent does not specifically have Swords to Plowshares exactly. Is it Swords to Plowshares exactly? It is a Prismatic Ending. Sure. Ooh, a Pyroblast would also do it. Sure. So I'm 1 mana short of this Kappa Cannoneer as of right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. It's unfortunate that opponent answered both of those permanents. Otherwise, I have Kappa Cannoneer this turn. I guess I will Urza Saga this turn. Much better if my opponent happens to play Days Undoing. But I really just want to play Urza Saga next turn and then cast a Kappa Cannoneer. Probably have to make this play, though. If my opponent, like, randomly, like, does something that answers this Altar of the Brood, then I can't play Kappa next turn. Alright, there's a Teferi Plus. Followed by a Narset, absolutely. Finding Supreme Verdict, which is very good at answering Kappa Cannoneer. So I probably can't play that out anymore. I have to just kind of like force my opponent to Supreme Verdict. Alright. This will just be land go. Ooh, nice, we junked the Wandering Emperor. The kind of unfortunate thing here is that, like, Teferi can work on bouncing a token. So my opponent isn't necessarily going to be in the situation where they have to Supreme Verdict after I make my Urza Saga tokens. So that's a little unfortunate. My tokens also aren't the largest either. Meltdown. Stop. Alright, and that is Yorion to hand as well. I mean, no Hullbreacher attack. Let's make some stuff here. I'll mill my opponent. And then they're going to fetch with Prismatic Ending before I get a chance to Pithing Needle it specifically. Is wise. Oh, fuck. I did not want to click through that. But writing's kind of on the wall here. But what don't I want to draw later? Probably an Altar of the Brood. Let's Altar of the Brood. I think an in-combat Meltdown happens a good portion of the time. I'm going to go ahead and take my mill triggers here. And I will attempt to kill Teferi. I do not expect this to work. I wish I had made the construct. Like, I absolutely meant to. I think my opponent still Meltdowns anyway. But there's absolutely a world where they don't have to. 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be 5. I'm not quite to Kappa Cannoneer, so I just have to pass the turn here. And then we'll see what gross, disgusting things my opponent can do to me. Like, I know they have a... Please! This is bullshit! I hate it! Alright. I will go down to 12 here. I think with, like, this Narset Dak combo, as well as, like, a Teferi and a known Supreme Verdict in hand, I'm probably about at the point where I can go ahead and concede this one. Like, I also just know that my opponent has Yorion. Like, that's a thing. Okay, yeah. My opponent has smelled the blood in the water. That's totally respectable. And they can just reset the loyalty on those Planeswalkers and untap Hullbreacher. Yeah. I am comfortable conceding there. I am just on a 2-turn clock, and I don't have a sequence of things that really lets me win from there. For this game where I'm on the play, I think I like Thorn of Amethyst over some copies of Altar of the Brood. Like, if opponent wasn't a Yorion deck, like, that might be different, but like, they have shown me a lot of Planeswalkers, and I would like to mess around with those a bit. I'll still keep a couple of Altar of the Broods to just let me accelerate into some of the fastest stuff that I can do. But I would really like to stop getting paired against these Jeskai decks that have, like, Meltdowns and Stony Silences and Dak of all things. Okay, what does this hand do? Nothing? Seems like this hand does nothing. It vomits a whole lot of artifacts onto the battlefield. I just go Grindstone, Grindstone, LED, Lotus Petal. Reduce cost of this by 4. Not be able to cast this on turn 1. Yeah, let's mulligan this hand. Yikes. This doesn't have enough mana. Like, I have the Painter and the Grindstone, not the mana to cast them. How quickly do I do Kappa without using Lotus Petal? 1, 2, 4. I would need a Soul Land to do it. I think I go to 5. Unfortunate. I will be keeping this hand. I think I have to throw back the Brazen Borrower and the Karn. Like, Brazen Borrower for early Stoneforge Mystic is cool and everything, but I don't think this hand is getting there. Like, there's worlds where I just draw Ancient Tomb and get to resolve a Karn on turn 2, and, like, that does it, but outside of that, life feels kind of tough. Hold this Lotus Petal for a while, and play a Painter Servant out. Pick a color for this. Everything can be black. Let's paint it black. No end of turn, Swords to Plowshares. Makes it back to my turn. I'll control 3 artifacts, making this cost 4. Not where I want to be. Brainstorm is fine. Alright, there's a follow-up land. Another Thought Monitor. Not great. So I will crash in for my 1 point of damage. And then I think, just in terms of tempo, as soon as my opponent gets to play a 3-drop Planeswalker, I think I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm just going to pass the turn here. And now, basically everything opponent has is going to be cripplingly good versus me. Arsit's insane, Dak's insane, Barry's insane. Like, I'm just going to eat a Prismatic Ending, which is great. It just keeps me further away from these Thought Monitors. Saga's good. I'll happily play that and attempt a Karn. Huge tempo swing if this works. I don't really expect it to. Okay. At the very least, it has resolved. And then I can start deciding whether or not I want to try to play around some instant speed stuff like Dress Down and how I want to address a Meltdown. Alright, opponent has made another land drop. Brazen Borrower. I think I'm okay with making this. And then attacking in. Let's crash on in. I'm not going to make the other one now, though. Hit my opponent for 3, call it good. Hold up Brazen Borrower, as well as making another Urza Saga token. Alright, you have a Hull Breacher. You have a Hull Breacher. That's fine with me. Aggressive Iteration is fine. Island, sure. I'm gonna get into a really weird spot here, where I have to decide whether or not I want to cast a Theft on Hull Breacher if this thing attacks. Okay, it does not attack, cool. In which case, I will just kind of continue doing what I am doing here. I don't know that I want to make another token. Feels like no. I'm just going to float the mana. Okay. There's some red mana. Karn plus for 1 or 2. Okay. This is also very awkward versus Dress Down. And I'm totally fine if it's not Dress Down. I grab a Bauble. Not great right now with Hull Breacher in play, but I'm hoping to take that out of play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aeshra's Bauble makes that cheaper. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to Petty Theft a Hull Breacher out of play now. Pyroblast. Annoying. Ugh. Dress Down is some shit. Plus this. Revealing Dismember and another Brazen Borrower. Gotten the Brazen Borrower. I think I have to attack now. I'm not happy about it. Let's send him in. Okay, not dressed down. Hot damn. Alright. Opponent goes to 2. At which point, I think to protect my Karn, I do play a Thought Monitor and give my opponent 2 treasures. Oh, right, its cost has been increased. Alright, so I lose Karn to Hullbreacher. And then we'll see what sort of game we're playing here. I thought monitors are significantly worse with this Hullbreacher in play. My decision to Brazen Bar, like, to get Bobble off Urza's Saga was not rewarded the way that I was hoping it would by being able to bounce Hullbreacher out of play. See what my opponent can string together here. Both of these are lethal, and opponent had to, like, tap Hullbreacher in order to get this stuff in here. And I can Brazen Borrower bounce to clear a blocker. That's a Narset. That's really not what they're looking for. Unforged Mystic's not bad. I will probably Brazen Borrower that out of the way. They'll need, like, Pyroblast again, plus Source of Plowshares. Alright. Like, it's known information that I have this. So, show me that you have both. Alright, that is Force of Will. So they can still have a way to answer a Construct token and stay alive. See if they do. They do. Alright. So I don't love this. My Thought Monitors aren't great, and my opponent is about to play a Batter's Skull. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be 5. I'd like to draw a 0-drop artifact. That would make my life a little easier. Or another Thought Monitor. How much do these cost? Too much. Too much is the answer. I think my opponent stabilizes here in a lot of worlds. Do I attack? I attack and take that Hullbreacher out of play. Bad for me. I can, like, turn Mishra's Baubles into real cards and try to work towards a Painter kill instead. I am going to attack. Because I think it's just going to be a Batterskull chump. Yeah. And I think I'm just going to force my opponent to do the re-equip or the bounce. It's a very good use of their mana. So it has to be an equip, though. Use my Brazen Borrowers and Dismember doesn't kill that thing anymore. I'll have to try to get bigger than it. There's 6. Gross. I accept what is happening here. I absolutely accept what is happening here. I don't like it, but I accept it. This attacks as an 8/8. Puts my opponent to 4. And gives me theoretical lethal in the air next turn. I say theoretical because, you know, 7/8 attack. But slightly offset by the construct. What a slog. I've made opponents Yorion significantly better by giving them access to that mana. Yeah, and there we see it. Alright, so there's the Yorion. And they are going to bounce the Batterskull to just put it on a different body. That's fine. Shadow Spear is a hell of a fucking draw. So let's play that. Equip to my Construct. I think I just attack with that. Push 2 more damage if I attack with Thought Monitors, and then a chump is required, but that would just be a chump with a Batterskull. Fine with where this attack is at. Oh, okay. I'll leave them with the Germ token. Kill their actual creatures. Good with that. Now I'll just kind of hope that last card isn't exactly Hullbreacher. Oh, they're about to draw Stoneforge. That's really annoying. Alright. I'll cycle through those. Pick up some new cards, play some new Thought Monitors, and then try to beat this Batterskull. Okay, they've got something else for end of turn. God damn it. Super inconvenient. Alright. Alright. Stoneforge for Kaldra immediately is annoying. You can just hardcast it, which is happening. This is a lot of damage. I am just going to go ahead and eat that on the chin and kind of deal with it. I like to just draw like a Painter. This costs 2 right now? No, it does cost 1 right now. Hull Breacher is an asshole. Okay. Gotta deal with that. I guess I'm equipping. Do I need to just play this? Probably don't need to just play that. Let's just crash in with the 1 creature in the air and call it good. Alright. This has been a slog. I got super punished by my opponent's last card being another Hull Breacher. I will eat that damage, that's fine. Looking to ultimately draw a Painter and kill without using the combat step. Good at drawing lands. Let's attack for 3. That gains me 3 life. Puts opponent to 17. 15. Just move the Shadow Spear over here and then hold this card for another turn. Looking to top deck Painter for a win. Prismatic Ending is fine. Another 9 in combat. Fine. This next turn I probably have to stop attacking and just like play the other Thought Monitor to go on the defensive here. I probably have to play the Grindstone too, just so that like another Grindstone can't be hit with a Prismatic Ending. Alright. Not happy about this. So just a chump. Take 5, go to 1. Will my opponent randomly have anything that does direct damage to my face? And am I dead next turn, basically no matter what, anyway? Protect the life total. I think this is my last draw, regardless. Maybe I should have chump blocked on a previous turn. Anyway. Alright, Brainstorm's fine. Maybe should have been done pre-combat. Very sure. Bounce a land out of play, totally reasonable. Painter! Damn it. Underground Sea. GG's, that was a really good game. Could have done some things differently. Like, could have not gotten a bobble, but I thought I was going to get a chance to turn that into a redraw. I probably could have won that one if I took something other than bobble. I also just, like, got by Hull Breacher being my opponent's last card in a situation where it very much needed to be that exact card. It is what it is. Alright, final round, playing against a Yorion deck. I'll probably keep my opening hand. It's improved by a decent number of draws. This is going to start out as an Urza Saga game. And we'll see if it's actually Death and Taxes this time. Nope. Or blue Yorion pile. Another Heartless Summoning is probably the worst draw in my deck there. I think I'll just play Urza Saga and pass this turn. Is there a world where I play Heartless Summoning this turn off of these 3 cards instead? Play a Kappa next turn? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Play the Urza Saga game. I can dump a couple extra constructs into play next turn. I just don't think I want to play the Heartless Summoning and shrink my creatures when I'm expecting to try to win this game in the red zone via constructs. I go land, bobble, opal here, and call it a turn. This is probably our 4th Jeskai control deck, which we've already kind of established is not going to be a great matchup. Could be just like Cephalid Breakfast, though. What is this? Oh, it's Bant this time. They can still have Drust down. Okay. There's an Uro. So we'll start by trying to make some large Urza Saga tokens, and then Kappa Cannoneer will be the plan B for a little later in game. Ooh, opponent did not hit their next land drop. That's very good for me, assuming no dress down. Settles kind of whatever here. Make another creature. Not Altar of the Brood. Grindstone or Shadow Spear. Do Grindstone. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ancient Tomb can be 5, 6. Go that route. Alright, improvise all those artifacts. Play Kappa Cannoneer. I've already played a land drop. I will play the Lotus Petal to grow this. Bash for 7. Opponent doesn't have a land drop, so I'm not going to play around like Supreme Verdict here by not playing out these creatures. If opponent has like Prismatic Ending for some of these tokens, and then they can ponder into another answer here. There's a lot of worlds where if they don't draw an answer immediately, they're just going to be kind of dead on board. They did. Another Kappa Cannoneer as follow-up is disgusting. Alright. Yeah, yeah. 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 A2. New Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, good stuff. So we're playing against Bant. I think I need to remove Altar of the Brood in a lot of cases here. Or I need to lean into it and play Leyline. Starting off Uro is pretty strong. Ugh, I hate that it's felt correct to just board this out in most rounds. I 100% need Karns. I probably need to play Pithing Needle for potential Planeswalkers. I probably need to play Tormod's Crypt. I probably need to play Brazen Borrower. And I won't play either of those, and then Leylines are maybe. Yeah, once it's coming to the sideboard games and I need to cut stuff, it just kind of feels correct to go after some portion of this. So, assuming I get rid of Leyline as well. 11 cards if I want to board all of that stuff. Do I keep Altar of the Brood because it's a real win condition as long as I have a Leyline? Really scary to feed Uros like that. If I keep the LED, have a faster Painter Goldfish, I could do these 11. One Altar of the Brood seems super weird to me. Thorn on the Draw seems kind of medium, though. Let's try this, and I can make some adjustments on the play. That shuts off Uro, and then I do nothing with this hand. I don't think that's good. This is good. I'll keep this and probably junk the Brazen Borrower from the hand. Alright. No initial cantrip from the opponent. I mean, let's start by playing the Urza Saga game. Kind of is what it is. It's possible it's better to like lead on seat into Vault and Opal. And kind of like go in that direction towards making something powerful, but this seems good. Specifically, if my opponent like splashed a random Plague Engineer or something, I would want to have one more artifact in play. I think I will go ahead and play out an Opal now. And then we'll see what my opponent does with their 3 mana. The worst case scenario is them just holding up Dress Down, because then they like cantrip while I deal myself 4 points of damage with Ancient Tomb. And also kind of fuck with my Thought Monitor draw as well. But we'll see where it goes. Okay, that's fine. I guess I should pop that out so I don't forget about it. Then end step, I'll make my token. I will attempt to extract my value. I don't necessarily expect it to go well. With this, Tormod's Crypt for their graveyard for an Uro seems like a legit thing to take here. Alright. Let's play Seat. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if I just eat a Dress Down here. It will be very bad if I do. I do not. Costs too much mana, right? This is... Oh no, it is 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, right. 7. Yep, okay. Ooh, Thought Monitor eats a Force of Will. Sure. I have a lot of onboard power. Oh, okay. I was not expecting that. Elector Oof. I will just have 12 power in play. So, like, that's... I should have exiled the graveyard and... No, I don't think I should have. Are you just going to Prismatic Ending a Construct token? Yeah, sure. I think that sets up my opponent to win a good portion of the time. Alright, let's bash for 6. If I draw an Underground Sea, I can play Kappa Cannoneer or a Thought Monitor. But otherwise I'm just kind of stuck for right now. And this was a card I knew I was going to have trouble with, right? Like that was in the initial deck tech. See what their follow-up is. Okay, that's not good. That means that they have something else. That's a pseudo answer to Collector Oof. I'll attempt to swing in. We'll see if they have like an Ice Fang Coatl. Alright, they go to 1. Call it a turn here. They've got something else to do with their mana because they didn't put Yorion into hand. Endurance, sure. The opponent opted not to just flash in Endurance and block, so they're trying to find something that removes this creature. more permanently while clocking me. Leyline, not a good draw here. Opponent has to have something here, right? Like, sure. Seems like you could have held back in Endurance and tried to ambush and kill this token. But I don't know what their hand is like, so it's hard for me to judge. All right, what do you got? Okay, yeah, an Endurance is being held back this time. If their draws aren't great, there's potential hope for me. All right, Yorion going to hand. That's fine. I have no reason to play this, right? I guess my creature being one larger for Swords to Plowshares is a reason to play it. That technically matters. Okay. Bash in for 7. If I put my opponent in a situation where they have to chump block with the Electro Oof because they miss a land drop for Yori, and I think I win. Ah, shit. I think they drew a Prismatic Ending. Yep. All right. So I need an Underground Sea to lock this one up. Bobble's not doing it. Not a good situation. I don't have haste damage. I don't have like a random walking ballista that I could activate. Couldn't activate it even if I did. All right. Opponent is holding up something instead of casting Yorion. All right. Spells are live. I cannot tap this Ancient Tomb. I think whatever I play is about to be countered, so I think it is irrelevant. I think since I have 2 of these, I'm going to go with a Thought Monitor here. I think this is just hardcast Force of Will. Or Pyroblast, sure. I hit to 1. Okay, just Veil of Summer to draw a card, sure. Alright. I hit for 2. I can draw a land drop, bounce Brazen Borrower, and then do some gross stuff. I guess that's my current out. Okay. You gonna randomly untap the Collector Oof? No, they did not. They can draw another card off of Abundant Growth. That's fine. Painter's Servant. So my out here is to play Thought Monitor into drawing another land drop, which I missed on. That's a little frustrating. All right. Next game. So if my opponent has Tutors and a Collector Oof, I have to board in these Dismembers. So that probably takes the place of Altar of the Brood and LED. This is an extremely fast Goldfish. I will absolutely keep this hand. It also doesn't have to be a fast Goldfish. I think I'm going to Mishra's Bauble here and kind of see what's going on at the top of my opponent's deck. All right, there's an Endurance, which means the whole Painter Grindstone thing is not the best here, and that I should probably just begin this game on an Urza Saga game plan again. So let's go about this way. Pop that out so I remember it, and kind of see what's up. Kappa Cannoneer is pretty good. A great follow-up to the things that are going on here. Let's call it a turn and hope that opponent doesn't like naturally have Collector Oof in hand to shut off my blue mana before I get a real threat in hand. Alright, cool. So let's go 2 mana, make this. Oh, another Urza Saga. That's kind of nuts. 2 mana, make a construct again. How many? 1, 2, 3, gonna be 4, 5 towards Kappa Cannoneer. I think I just Pithing Needle that Flooding Strand. Alright. We'll take a free one there. Alright, Pithing Needle on Flooded Strand. Play new Urza Saga, just continue that game. 1, 2, 3, 4. This can be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, let's just play a new Urza Saga. Bash for 4. I think that's better than Bash for 5. Alright. There's more white mana. Alright. So opponent had to Pithing Needle that so that they can access their mana in other ways, which is totally fine with me. We're also just working towards a Painter Grindstone kill. Just totally besides the Urza Saga type stuff. I think 8 damage is plenty. Just better play around Dress Down here. Okay. Am I getting Dress Down? Do you have Source to Plowshares? I have a Source to Plowshares. In which case, this is probably fine to do now. Just get 1 more life out of it and 1 more damage. Hit opponent to 11. 1, 2, 3, 4 artifacts in play. This is still too expensive. Call it a turn. I might be able to attempt both lethal and a grindstone-based play next turn. I guess they have the endurance. Burrow's fine. Puts them to 14. That probably puts them out of lethal range for next turn. Yeah, okay, they are going for the bounce. That's fine. I know they have endurance. I don't know that they have a green card to pitch to it, but I know they have endurance. Let's just continue going this damage-based route. Shadow Spear, in case they slip an Uro into play, is reasonable. Also, just getting a Mox Opal to better deploy my cards seems good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards Kappa. Are you 1 mana yet? You are 1 mana. Let's play that. Let's see if we can just get to lethal this turn. That's Force Pitch Uro. So I'll seat. That's lethal damage right there. Yep. Okay. Good. We took down one of the control decks and end up 2-3. Overall thoughts on the deck list. I don't think Heartless Summoning is there in Legacy. And the reason why is that this combo requires Heartless Summoning plus Altar of the Brood plus 2 copies of Myr Retriever. So this is a 4-card combo in order to work. And the Myr Retriever did absolutely cute things in a couple of rounds. Like, I forget which round it was, but like using it to rebuy a Painter to attempt the combo again was pretty cool. In Game 1 scenarios, Heartless Summoning was totally fine as a way to accelerate towards Kappa Cannoneer and Thought Monitor. But without fail, every single time the weakest cards that I was boarding out in the post-sideboard games were these 12 cards plus LED. LED is there to open up Game 1 lines involving you goldfishing faster for when that matters. As far as a Heartless Summoning deck goes, this was a reasonable attempt. Like, you can take this in other directions as well. So I saw a modern version that was playing a bunch of Blood Artist type cards. It's not actual factual Blood Artist because it has to be able to survive the -1 effect of Heartless Summoning. But like that was a route that I saw where they played more like Perilous Mirror sorts of cards. But as far as creating a reasonable deck, if you want to play something janky like Heartless Summoning, sometimes you need some glue to hold it together and make sure that you can steal wins. And the glue for this deck was absolutely Urza Saga and Kappa Cannoneer, with like honorable mentions to the Painter Grindstone combo that we won plenty of our games with as well. I don't know that if you're playing Heartless Summoning, you get room in the mana base to fit in Otawara. That's potentially a card that you could want to have more outs to things like Collector Oof, Stony Silence, and things like that. But I'm pretty happy with like the Karn sideboard plan. Ley lines were fine. Yeah. That's pretty much all I've got here. I wish we had fully resolved the combo at one point in this league. But we did not. We had it in hand and ready to go, I think twice, but it kind of fell apart twice. I think once our Storm opponent killed us while we had it in hand, and the other time we had to play around Teferi plus Prismatic Ending. So it is what it is. That was an exhausting league to play, though. All those longs were very round. That's where my brain is at. It's mush. Have a great rest of the day, folks. Consider throwing me a like on the way out, and I would love to hear your ideas on alternative Heartless Summoning ideas, like deck construction ideas in the comments. See ya!